Hello, put the tip in here, 7th of November. Um, Sorry for no review preview last night. Times just didn't work out. I will attempt to do them as and when I can, but it's clearly maybe not going to be an everyday thing. I will try and do it as much as possible. Um, so let's review. Um, Football didn't go well. The value was there, but yeah, just not the one. But that is what it is. It's fine. It was only a small, very small bet, so I'm not too fussed. But the horse racing is where we excelled. We're back, baby. Um, let's look. So tier one. Um, we started out the day with Imperial Rule placing at 18 to 1. We followed it up by Be Patient winning. Oh no, Western George, sorry, didn't. But then Be Patient winning at 11 to 1. And then Lip Sync, um, you know, the good old faithful, also placing at 10 to 1. That meant if you had placed um, £40, £5 each way, you'd have returned £114, meaning we are £74 up. What about tier two, you ask? Well, tier two, let me tell you. We started up with Largy Train placing at 13 to 2. Grange Walk did nothing. Oh, but then Haiti Claire came in at 17 to 2. Urban Daddy then placed for us. And then Threatening winning at 8 to 1. And then Duffus Castle was a no show in the last very bad ride. But £60 down, you would have ended up £83.50 up with £143.50 back. Um, and what was the horse of note that I told you about? Keep on cobbling. Oh yeah, that also won at 11 to 1. Meaning a £76 went £66 up on that. In the overpriced, Tiger Bay placed at 9 to 1. Daydream Believer unfortunately didn't. That would have meant you'd have been £6 down if you did all the overpriced. And um, the biggest place so far that I've managed to predict. I do on Instagram kind of these long shot plays where I talk through horses, like what horses I fancy out of certain races, but that I can't narrow down. Um, and one of those was the 5:45 at Chelmsford, where I tipped Ells River for you at 80 to 1. Um, also placed. I advised a double with the racers at Clonmel, and if you'd done that, you'd have returned £170. It was a fine day all over. We're going to have a fine day again today. Let's go through it. So, tier one. We'll start at the 12.25 at Hexham. The 12.25 at Hexham, and that's Nina Kalina. Nina Kalina, 11 to 1. We move to Exeter. Exeter, the 115. 115 and Crystal Spring, who is quickly coming in, so try and get on it soon. Crystal Spring, 11 to 2. It opened at 12s. We then nip to the 2:45 at Hexham. 2:45 at Hexham, Mighty Moth. Mighty Moth at 20 to 1. The 3:53 at Hexham. 3:53 at Hexham, Perfectot. Perfectot, 10 to 1. And finally, the 4:30 at Newcastle. The 4:30 at Newcastle, Invincible Crown. Invincible Crown, 15 to 2. Five horses. Um, some really good odds today. But and I don't understand them. But I'm just going with the system that worked yesterday and the day before. We stick with it. Let's see how it turns out. I'm pretty happy with that. Um, Obviously, we have a tier two, and I believe tier two has 6 horses in it today. I'm just finding where it starts out so I can pull up the right stuff for you. 125 Exeter is where that one begins. Is it this one? I do apologise for the small delay. It is. So, the 6 selections. We start at the 125 at Fontwell, the 125 at Fontwell, Sanitizer 8 to 1, the 218 at Newcastle, 218 at Newcastle, Molinari 13 to 2. The 335 at Exeter, the 335 at Exeter, Hip Hop de Angray, on Grey, 12 to 1. Um, Castle Quarter, and that's the 345 at Fontwell, 345 at Fontwell, 20 to 1. We've then got the 4 o'clock at Newcastle. 4 o'clock at Newcastle, Windsor Pass at 13-2. And finally, the 4:10 at Exeter. 4:10 at Exeter, and that is Twist of Fate Catch. Twist of Fate Catch at 8 to 1. They are your 6 Tier 2 horses. That, of course, isn't it. We've got an overpriced section. There's actually 12 overpriced horses. I won't repeat these like I do the others because it'd be too long. But your overpriced section today is all over the place. Let me get the list up on here. I just think there's a lot of value today. If you manage to catch one of these, sweet. If not, it's all good. The tier system is the most important. The 12.25 at Hexham, Miss Bumblebee at 25 to 1. The 125, it's just being a bit slow. The 125 at Fontwell, Rialta Leath at 12 to 1. The 135 at Hexham, Yapper Hill at 20 to 1. The 218 at Newcastle, Gibbside at 20 to 1. The 4:10 at Exeter, Gingerbread at 33 to 1. The 4:30 at Newcastle, Without Flaw at 22 to 1. And the 8:30 at Dundalk, Kalugo at 14 to 1. They're just horses I really think are well overpriced. But they don't fit the metric to go into anything else. We've got a nice little each way double. These were two horses that would have fitted into tier 1 or 2. The 3:20 at Hexham, Rattling Road, and the 6:45 at Dundalk Avatrice. They're both around 11 to 4, 3 to 1. They both would have been in, but the second 9 o'clock hit, they both zoomed back in because they're in extra place races. So that's how I would play that. And finally, a bonus bet for you. I do really like Sky bets. Price boost today, Khalif de Burley, and the 4:25 at Exeter is 2 to 1. The only horse I see challenging it on form is Martator. I mean, Thistleass could be anything, but I just don't see it. Khalif de Burley is the class. I think 2 to 1 is great value for that. My friend's horse actually runs in that race. Here comes Georgie. I do think genuinely, depending how the jumping goes and stuff, it could end up running on to be third. So if you've got if you've got Will Hill and you can choose to bet 3 places, then I would maybe do that. But my bet in that race is the favourite, the Khalif de Burley price boost. I do really like that. Your only thing is the lack of a recent run. There will obviously be content on Instagram and TikTok, but you've got all the main stuff. And I will see you later to find out how that all does. Goodbye.